Okay, so my name is Barry Kleiman. I hope you know that or you're in the right place. So this is a workshop called Leveraging LinkedIn. I, at some level, duped you folks a little bit to come in here. I am going to speak very much about leveraging LinkedIn, but like anything else, there's a little bit of a backstory. So before we kind of get into LinkedIn per se, we probably should get some context of really what it is and why leveraging it has nuances to it that you should really understand. So if you're just looking, I have a bunch of handouts that I purposely didn't hand out because we only have 45 minutes and I have probably 5 hours of stuff to talk about. So come on in. So I will ask all of you, there's a sign-up sheet. I'm glad to email you all of my slides and everything that we don't cover. You can email me questions later. I'm actually very good at responding to questions. But if I had collections of questions, it's that much easier, right? So in either case, as you can see, and this is nothing. There is tons to talk about with respect to LinkedIn. Just for fun, can you tell me why you came here today?
Because I don't think I'm using LinkedIn properly.
Okay, and what does that mean?
That I think there's pieces missing on my profile. I'm not looking for a job right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've taken the time to use it to its fullest extent.
Okay. Does anybody here not know what LinkedIn, well, I know there's one person, and that's great too, that what LinkedIn is. Okay, so if you know what LinkedIn is, Dee, what's LinkedIn? I told you I was going to call on you.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm
Of course, no, and this is one of the reasons why I'm here.
Yeah. So this is someone who has no other social media but LinkedIn that a student started for me. It's an
No, it's all good.
It's an opportunity to put some of your credentials out, your interests, and you can connect with other people who have similar interests and grow your network.
Sure. Anybody want to add anything at all to that, or?
I know it's social networking for professionals.
Okay, and so tell me what social networking is. Tell me what networking is. And this is, again, by the way, I have so many bullet points and things to discuss here. I could just come up here and mail it in, right? I'm tired. I flew in from California yesterday. I could give you a couple 10-point things and we could go home. And you might all have been satisfied. I can't do that. I'm not doing you guys any service, and I can't do that to myself. So let's talk about, because it's a very important concept, what is networking?
Interacting.
Okay.
Connecting and finding common interests.
So I like that better, connecting and finding common interests rather than interacting. No, it's okay, but I just want to be clear because there's an infrastructure that if you have it in your brain, you'll be much better using LinkedIn. The way I describe LinkedIn at one level is like a chainsaw. Anybody ever operate a chainsaw? Dee, what's a chainsaw do? Just cuts? Scissors cut stuff.
It goes through heavy.
Is it a powerful tool?
It's very powerful.
If you don't know how to use it, what could happen?
You can die.
Yeah, okay. So this is my point about LinkedIn is an incredibly powerful tool. It's amazing. I like to tell people, I've been in my business for only 46 or 47 years. I'm too old to keep counting. I had LinkedIn before there was LinkedIn because that's the business I'm in. I am in the business of relational capital. The only thing I actually have to make my business go are relationships. So I had to do this long before LinkedIn was ever invented. I'm a dumbass because the truth is, had I figured out LinkedIn, I would have made the same $26 billion that Reid Hoffman sold LinkedIn for, because I do understand the power of relationships and it's really important. But what you want to do more than any single thing before we get into any part of LinkedIn is find a way to connect, okay, as opposed to just interact, okay? Well, any type of networking is what do you want people to know? We're going to get to that. It's what do you want your profile to say? There's a big deal. Social networking just does it on steroids, right? Because you can post like we're doing today, hashtag GenW and all the things of social networking. But once again, LinkedIn or any social network has tremendous power. And I think it was, I just forgot her name, Wendy? She talked about anything like humor, anything that has power also has downside. I wrote it down. I was thinking it was a perfect topic because she just talked about it. She was talking about it with respect to humor. LinkedIn has power, LinkedIn has downside. You want to make sure you're using it for the reason you want to use it. You want to get your message out the way you want to get your message out. Otherwise, your message is going to be out into the world of cyberspace, which is prolific. Last I checked, there's 600 million LinkedIn users. That's a lot of users. There's probably 2 million active. And maybe at any given time, it's a great question and it's fluid. Maybe some of you are active now, and after you get done hearing me, you don't want to be active on it anymore, or vice versa, I hope. But it's a fluid number. So the point being, with one post, profile, representation, or whatever, you have an opportunity to reach tons of people, right? So the point being, you want to say what you want to say before you put it up on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a marketing arm for your brand. Okay. Who just said they're not looking for a job? Okay, that's fine. Currently. Barry Kleiman 101 is you're always interviewing. You may not be looking for a job now, but somebody's going to go back and look at your LinkedIn profile and what you might have posted a year ago. So make your brand, I've written a book called How the Truth Will Set You and Your Career Free. Again, I have a sign-up sheet. I'll mail you guys a copy. I didn't want to schlep them all the way from San Francisco. Pleasure to gift them to you, whatever. But the point is, you have to operate what I think under a term called consistent authenticity, which you want your brand to be your brand. A bunch of years ago, Coca-Cola changed their recipe. Any of you remember this? How'd that work out for them, sis? Not too good. So, you want your brand to be your brand, right? And so again, before we get into any of the nuances of how to craft a profile and do all these things, I really want to talk about making sure that your message is what your message is and think it through before you get too active on LinkedIn. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Because it's a really important thing to understand. So I want to build some structure and help you understand some structure in your brain before you actually share it with the world. You could share it with me if you want to write to me and say, Barry, what's this look like? I'm happy to help you. But I would encourage you to not put it up yet on LinkedIn because there's a lot more people who may not be as forgiving or whatever. You're guilty. In a job search, everybody, you're guilty till proven innocent. It's just the way it is. Different hopefully in our justice system. So these are a bunch of points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that I want to cover today. I'm not going to have time to do them in any particular sequence, but there are points that are important to me. The first point that's incredibly important to me is this one. Be honest. Don't lie. If you don't know something, you don't know something. It's an easy thing to say, right? If you try to lie and you're busted, your brand depreciates like Coca-Cola, like anything else, very, very quickly. So make sure that whatever your message is to the world, certainly on LinkedIn, but to the world at large, to conversations that you have, that you use the truth. And I like to tell people, you can write this down if you want, that the truth is a brand. And the truth is a strategy. And if you use the truth as your brand and strategy, it's going to free you up from most of the world by orders of magnitude, which will wind up giving you an opportunity to stand out. I don't know if anybody came here because I wrote about standing out as opposed to blending in. It'll give you an opportunity to stand out if you're authentic, if you're forthcoming, if you're humble, and so forth, okay? So the truth is the most important thing that I want to talk to you here about today. So as you begin to craft your profiles, right, as you begin to put things down, make it clear and be honest about it. You could get a call the day after you post something. D, your profile was fascinating to me. I'm so-and-so, I'm CEO of so-and-where. Tell me about why you wrote that. And you're like, well, shoot, now I'm busted because I didn't really do it. You're busted. Okay, so this, more important than anything else. Everybody got it? So, again, if I talk too fast, I apologize. I've got a lot to cover. But this, I don't know tons of Shakespeare. Laertes said to Polonius, or vice versa, in Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 4, "This above all to thine own self be true." It's a great way to go through your life, and it's a highly leveraged way to go through your life because you'll get more of what you really, really want, as opposed to, maybe what you don't want, but you thought you did and you lied your way into it. It's okay to say, I don't know. People ask you in interviews. I was speaking to Dr. Lapchick here last night, and I stumbled. I remembered his dad, but I said it was a coach, and he said, a player, and I forgot he was actually a coach. My bad. I just, forgot. It's okay. Humility is kind of a good thing. Now, we're in a world of bravado, right? Pounding their chest and, face Instagram and all this kind of stuff. You can choose to go that way, but then that's the game you have to keep playing, right? So you have to kind of keep on this string of inauthenticity. So you have a choice. So start out where you think you're rooted, and the chances to get what you want become that much better, right? Because these are your roots and this is what matters most. So does anybody have any questions about how I would apply that in any other case, or do you kind of get the, again, I wrote a book called How the Truth Will Set Your Career Free. It's an important topic. Does anybody not understand where I'm building it to with respect to this particular class? Cool, okay. Before I get into the nuances of LinkedIn, I wanted to be clear, I already asked some of you. These are the two words that guide my entire business, clarity and optimization. I am a semi-retired headhunter who does executive coaching, founded a nonprofit for young people to help them figure out what's next and how to get it, called the Fifth Quarter Project. But everything I talk about, I want to try to make sure we gain clarity about what it is you're trying to do, what it is are we trying to do with our LinkedIn profile, so to speak, but anything, and then optimize it. What I will talk with you about or send you slides about, all depending on how much time we have, is about how to optimize your profile and your messages moving forward and the connections that you make moving forward. Quick talk about connections. I am here today, and I flew however many miles it is from San Francisco Bay Area on a red eye, or whatever it is, a 6:30 a.m. flight yesterday morning. I'm flying home tomorrow morning. It's a lot of miles. I'm definitely sleepy from it, but I'm happy to be here for one reason and one reason only. It's because of Donna. I was Donna's camp counselor it's a true story, in 1969. This summer will be 50 years. This little precocious little girl came up to me on a basketball court and said to me, back in those days, camp counselors were aunt and uncle. Uncle Barry, or Uncle Barry, would you teach me how to play basketball? It's a true story. The same smile, by the way, she's grown up since, but the smile has not changed. I marvel at it when I see it. So this is a connection made on a basketball court in a camp in Kintnersville, Pennsylvania, which is about 60 miles north of Philadelphia, that is still here today. I don't imagine it's going to go away anytime soon. Connecting has such leverage. Interacting, maybe not so much, okay? So one of the things I would love if you all did, and we're not gonna have time, but I would encourage you to think about doing it, is somehow, some way, before you walk out of here or you see somebody walking here, if you would just find a way to turn around. You guys are connected. That's a cool thing to see, right? That's a connection, right? It felt cool, didn't it? Yeah. So, this is really what it is. So now you have, if you connect, and now you have an opportunity to do it on social media with 600 million potential people seeing it, now the connections get really leveraged, okay? So you gotta connect in a heartfelt, genuine way, but connecting, I hate the term networking because it seems transactional to me, and connecting seems to me like palpable and visceral and like Donna and I. So quick